What's going on, guys? And welcome in to the Bench is Clear podcast, where we cover the best rivalry in all of sports. I am Jesse Gutierrez, and I represent the side of the San Francisco Giants.
And I'm Tyler Cohen. I represent the side of the 2020 World Series champion, Los Angeles Dodgers.
So cute. With so many banners for one World Series. That's so adorable. I think that's absolutely adorable, and I'm glad that you grew some hair on your face.
Yeah.
That's changed.
That's coming back.
Wish we can get the shit on my head back. But anyways, we have some news. The stove is freaking hot right now. Giants signed Matt Wisler, 1 year, $1.15 million.
And no one gives a shit.
Everyone gives a shit. It's great. Honestly, it's a great signing. I think he's a super underrated dude. A lot of people are like complaining about his advanced metrics. Like, well, he doesn't, he does give up some fly balls, but had a super low ERA last year playing against the Yankees, like in fucking fan boxes in Fenway. I mean, I know the Red Sox sucked last year. Okay. But he's playing in a lot of parks that were very hitter friendly, and he's still dominated. So,
and he only costs $1 million, so who cares?
Exactly. So let's not complain about advanced metrics. Let's let the dude work. I'm excited to see what he can do. And yeah, and this is great. It's like 1 week the Dodgers signed someone, and then next week the Giants signed someone who's even like a better deal, better reliever,
considerably worse. Cheaper money, but less talented.
Well, how about this, Tyler? Go fuck yourself, all right? And Matt Wisler is Wiser Unagi. That's what that is, Unagi. And yeah, that's the hot stove.
That's it. That's all we got.
It is. Guys are starting to sign now. I mean, Carlos Santana signing, and the Adam Eaton signing. I know it's not the big names. I know stove ain't scorching hot.
The big free agents aren't going to sign until January or February.
Yeah, but it's better than just having complete blue balls, throughout the entire, we got something. We got at least a little bit of release, a little pre.
I was going to say a little premature ejaculation.
Just a little bit, Well,
yeah. It's like when you put the straw in a Capri Sun and like a little bit comes out. It's kind of like that.
I've never heard that.
That's the best comparison I can make.
That's pretty good.
Funny guy.
Quick favorite Capri Sun flavor. Now go. What is it?
I don't know the flavors.
You're a bitch. Pacific Cooler is the only flavor.
Cool. I feel like you just drank what was in the ice chest after like a fucking T-ball game. I don't really think I ever had Capri Suns at my house. I don't know.
Funny, really quick story. One of the first times I went to my wife's family, I was very new to the salsa game. I know I was very like, I don't like spicy, but then my wife kind of brought me into it, and I love it. I get it. But way back then, I was all weird about it, and I just started getting new into it, right? And in my young experience, the lighter salsas were the less spicy. So I was, still getting familiar. Family barbecue, one of the first times I'm around, it's like 11 years ago. And I put the lighter salsa on my tacos. I sit down, I take a huge bite of one, right? And then one of her aunts goes, "Oh, be careful, mijo. That's the habanero salsa." It gets a lot, and I was like, "Oh,
but
fuck.
It's orange. It's orange. Why is it so hot?"
And I was like, "Oh fuck. But the thing about habaneros is it doesn't it's not like hot. It's like it like builds, and it just at first
it settles. Yeah.
At first, I was like, "Oh shit. Oh no, I think I'm good. I'm all right. And then all of a sudden, it just came up. And fun fact about Mexican get-togethers: there is nothing in the coolers except for beer and Capri Suns for the kids. So I had, and being straight edge and I don't drink, I had to freaking just suck down all the kids' Capri Suns to just save my life because I was just dying.
And then you had 10 kids crying in the corner because some asshole drank all the Capri Suns. And that was
you. Get it? Like, I don't know.
That asshole.
Yeah, that was me. So if any of my wife's little cousins are listening, they're probably going to beat the shit out of me in my sleep. So, yeah. We have a great show. for you guys. We have a great guest. Caleb Baragar is coming on the program. But before then, I need to say one thing. The Lancaster Jethawks still have a chance to be an affiliate. I'm not sure why I'm doing like this. It's very.
Are you doing your Obama like?
That's what I'm saying. I think this is very. Yeah, I don't know.
Very presidential of you.
Well, I'm going to go unpresidential and say, fuck the Fresno Grizzlies. I hope they decline being a low A team so I don't have to drive to fucking Rancho Cucamonga to go watch some minor league baseball, which you guys should all do. Support minor leaguers because they broke as fuck and major leagues is kind of fucking them over. So I hope Lancaster is in. Fingers crossed. And so if you can just tell the Fresno Grizzlies to fuck off, and I hope they think that they're bigger than they are and don't accept.
They're probably going to accept it.
They probably are. I mean, I'm just holding.
They used to be a AAA team, right?
Yeah, that's the only hope is they don't want to be a single. They're going to go down to low A, from AAA to low A. So yeah, I'm hoping that they're like
their facilities are probably so much better than Lancaster.
I know. Oh no, they are. But what I'm saying is the only hope is if Fresno says no, which is 98% sure. The only hope is that they're saying like we're not going to be a low A team. No one's going to come, and we're just going to lose money. Fuck it. We're, I mean, maybe the stadium's paid off. I don't know. We'll turn this thing into a shopping mall. I don't know.
Well, Fresno's that's a shithole anyways. So
yeah. Fuck Fresno. No, I'm sorry. There might be people listening. Fresno. If you live in Fresno, you're probably great. But I just hope.
But you just live in a shithole.
You can say that about Lancaster too, I guess. But
absolutely.
Well, without further ado, we're gonna get into it. And now we'd like to welcome into the Benches Cleared podcast someone so famous that he has his own meme page on Instagram and Twitter. Giants reliever Caleb Baragar. What's going on, my guy?
How you doing, Jesse?
Bro, I'm really good, man. Thank you for coming on and taking the time. And how's your off season going?
Off season's been good. Been working hard and getting ready, trying to make sure I'm ready for when February or whenever. Who knows what's going to happen, but hopefully mid-February, we'll get things rolling again.
I know, like through the season, we just keep like as fans, we're always like, man, just get through this year. It's 60 games. It is what it is. And we're not even thinking like, dude, what if this vaccine doesn't happen? Or like, what if I think that if anything this year taught us, it was like, expect the unexpected. Shit can go sideways again, and we have another 60-game season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's kind of the way I looked at it too. Like when everything started happening with quarantine, like you learn real quick, especially in baseball, like you're not in charge of anything except for where your feet are. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of been the whole theme of 2020 for me, is just kind of keep my head down and keep working, and whatever's going to happen is going to happen. I can't change anything outside of it. So it's kind of just been an easy way for me to keep going and not try to worry about all the stuff I can't control. Because if you start thinking about that, it's just a downward spiral for sure.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. You can't dwell on that shit. But so to think about maybe like better times, right? I feel like maybe we haven't reflected too much on, the River Cats championship. And maybe not as much as we should have. I feel like it's not like talked about that much, but I guess any title is special, like at any level it is, so like, is that ring like in a special place, or is it kind of like, I'm in the big leagues now?
It was kind of funny because they passed them out to us like in the big league locker room this year. So like it seemed like half our locker room ended up getting them because half the guys in that locker room were on that team. But no, it's at home next to my MVP trophy too. So I just have it at my parents' house. I think it's on top of like a mantle above the fireplace or something like that.
Sexy fireplace. Yeah, definitely. I mean, in the 2019 to 2020, I guess, kind of like roller coaster, I think was a little weird, especially someone who's followed you. Because I mean, at the beginning you were Eastern League All-Star, the winning pitcher of that game, and then you make it to the championship or the MVP. But then it was kind of weird that you were available for the Rule 5 draft. And then right afterwards, you were invited to the 60-man and made the opening day roster. So like, was it kind of like a crazy roller coaster? Like you didn't know what was going on, or?
It was weird. I mean, like, honestly, I had a decent amount of people being like, oh, like, hopefully you'll get put on the 40-man after like the championship game, and I was like, I don't know. Like, I kind of know how the Giants work, and like, I'm not a prospect, and like, I've been around a couple years now, and I kind of see how things go. It doesn't really matter. Like, if you you can perform well, but if you're not necessarily a prospect, like, there's no real reason to protect you. And so I kind of went into that like Rule 5 area being like, well, I hope it happens, but I never heard anything from anybody like from the Giants other than just like teammates or friends who like had higher hopes for me, I guess. Yeah. And then like the day went by and didn't get protected. And I was like, okay, well, whatever. I guess like we'll see what happens, you know? And then the day of the Rule 5 draft came and like I was kind of hopeful. And then it went by in like 30 seconds and only 5 kids got selected to like big league roster spots. So I was like, well, just got to keep going, I guess. And then I was hoping for a big league spring training invite coming into 2020. And then that didn't happen. So I was like, well, here we are again. You know, I guess I just got to continue to like keep my head down and work and see what happens and just put my effort into getting better and trying to throw a little bit harder and honing my craft. Like I was coming off a good year. And I was like kind of hoping I'd get a little bit of recognition. And I got some from like inside, but nothing like from up top. You know, I really didn't know what was going on. Like I ended up firing my agent at the time just because like I never talked to him. Like I would reach out to him and be like, hey, like, do you have any information for me? Like what's going on? Do you know? And then, like, I just wouldn't get anything. So I was like, all right.
Ghosted.
Well, yeah. I was like, all right, see ya. Like, I'm not going to waste my time with that. So I like went into this season really without an agent. And then the Giants were talking to me a little bit during quarantine, just kind of checking in on me and whatever. And I was training at a facility in Tempe. There's a couple other Giants guys who train there now. But I was training there and just trying to like, basically just trying to throw a little bit harder to see if I could like get some decent numbers to like put on Twitter or something, you know, so someone would see it. I ended up like having some really good spin numbers and stuff, which I didn't know a whole lot about. And I posted them to Twitter, and then like there were a couple people from the organization that like reached out to me like, hey, like this looks really good. Like we're really happy with your progress. And so I was like, okay, like let's just see what happens with the season. And then we go all the way through April, like nothing, all the way through May, nothing. Then June starts to roll around and we start to hear that like, oh, we might have a season, but it's probably going to be shortened. And they had the whole fiasco with like the players and owners trying to figure out the games. And like, meanwhile, I'm not on the 40 man. So I don't have any of that information. I don't really know what's going on. So I'm just kind of there. So I'm still like working out, training. Like it's just, I don't know. I was throwing sim games every Friday. I was throwing like 3 innings, just trying to stay fresh in case I was needed. And then they like announced the date for the camp, and then I got a couple like texts like, "Hey, we need this information from you," and blah blah blah. So I'm starting to think like, "Oh, like maybe I'll get to go to the 60-man camp or whatever." And then all of a sudden, like the day they announce rosters goes by, and my name's like not on that list. So I was like, well, like I guess it wasn't enough again. So here we are. You know, like I don't know. I didn't pout about it. I was just like, obviously I was a little upset, but you know, it's what it is. And someone ended up not passing their COVID test, I think. And that's why I ended up getting a shot. They like called me 3 days later and said, hey, we have like 3 guys out sick with COVID. Like we need you to come like just as like an emergency to camp. And I was like, cool. Like my bags had been packed because at that point I was like literally just living on my suitcase waiting for something to happen. I was either like waiting to go to the camp or I was about to drive back to Michigan to see my family. So my bags were already packed and I was like, okay, what time do I have to leave? And I think they called me at like 1 in the afternoon. They're like, yeah, you got a flight at 5. And I was like, okay, well, good thing I was already packed.
Better get going. And,
the car's outside waiting for you. You go now.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, when you pack on the rush, I feel like you're more like you remember more shit. I know, like if I have to pack really fast, I like start think like if I like so prepared, I always forget shit.
Yeah, really. See, I'm the opposite. If I rush pack, like I'm losing something or forgetting something. So like at that point, I knew I had everything. And then I ended up getting to San Francisco, took my COVID test, was negative. Basically they threw me right into camp with everybody else. I think it had been going on for like a week at that time. And then I got there, I had like 2 days, I had a bullpen the first day and then like 2 days off. And then I threw live in a game. I threw pretty well. And I ended up talking to Farhan and Scott Harris after the season, like an exit meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, yeah, like you really impressed us that first day. Like you pretty much made the team the first day out of camp. And I was like,
Really?
okay, well, I had no idea. Cause even going into my exit meeting at the end of camp, when they told me that I made the team, like I was still in shock. I was just waiting. Like all I wanted to hear was like that they liked a little bit of what they saw. Cause they'd been so quiet towards me. I didn't really even know. You know, it was
especially because the Giants kind of have the MO of at least as of right now, they have the MO of if you have options, you're probably going down because they want to snag someone from another team that just got DFA'd. So like for you to make it on, it means that they like you really impressed them.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's why I was so shocked too, because like I kind of had heard all about the way they ran the stuff up there. And one of our assistant pitching coach, Ethan Katz, he was like, hey, like just a heads up, you're probably not going to start for this team. If you get a chance to pitch here, it's going to be in like a relief role. I think that was it was like the day after my first outing there. I was like, okay, yeah, like whatever's going to get me to the big leagues. Like, I don't care. Like literally, I'll like, if you want me to go play the outfield, like I'll go play the outfield. Not that I'm any good at it, but if that's what's going to get me to the big league, sure. Like I'll do whatever.
Yeah. If you could tell them that too, I'll play some outfield. If you could just maybe place a call for it. I wouldn't mind it at all.
You're too fat and slow, my guy. Sorry to burst your bubble.
I could move for a big dude, like a little bit.
A little bit. Yeah.
The thing is, you can't test me right now, so I could talk all the shit I want. You know, I can't really run that fast in this room. But speaking of like starting and relieving, is that something that you want to try to get back into, or are you kind of just making a home and because obviously you've been pretty successful this year?
Honestly, I would rather start if we're being like 100% honest. Like, but if it's better for the team for me to be out of the bullpen, like I understand that too. But if it was like a sole decision for me, like 100%, I'd like to start. Like I'm a really big routine guy, and it's a lot easier to have a routine if you know you're going to throw every fifth day than
exactly.
Hey, like you're probably hot today, even though you've thrown the past 2 days. Like make sure you're ready.
Same thing with the packing. It's either like 5 days or it's like, hey, let's go. You're up.
Exactly. So like for sure, I'd rather start, and like who knows what's going to happen down the road. We'll see. You know, I mean, they haven't really given me an exact answer on what they're looking for next year. I'm supposed to know within like hopefully the end of December. I would hope they would give me like a little bit more. Like right now, they're like, hey, just start to like build up and ramp up throwing again, and then come the end of December, we'll have another meeting and decide exactly what we want to do. So
so
we'll see. We'll see.
If you are going to start that, or even in the relief role that you had last year, you were usually like the first guy out to kind of clean up the mess. Is kind of like where you were positioned. That means you might get some at bats. Are you, because they're saying that the NLDH is going to go away at least for the year? Are you excited, or are you kind of like I don't want to face like Chris Sale and shit?
No, I'm pumped. Like you're not supposed to get a hit as a pitcher anyway, so there's literally no pressure, and I'm just gonna try to hit the ball like 500 feet. Like if I don't have to bunt, I'm gonna swing to hit a homer, especially with the way these baseballs play. Like anyone can hit a home run with these baseballs. All you got to do is like somewhat make contact, and it's gonna go. And especially the way Oracle played this year, like I'm for sure trying to hit the ball out of the ballpark.
Do you feel pretty comfortable in the box? Do you feel like you're a decent hitter?
No, not at all. No, I have.
So it's just swing for the fences.
But yeah, no, I'm just gonna swing. Hopefully they give me a fastball down the middle. Like maybe they'll run into my bat. I don't know, but I'm gonna try.
The first couple are going to like they're gonna give you some meatballs. So you might get if you get like one or two, you'll get a little bit of a reputation. Of course, after that, you won't see another fastball again.
No, but then I'll start getting sliders and start at my hip, and like I hit right-handed too, which is really weird because I throw left-handed.
Yeah.
So like if I get a bunch of righties throwing me sliders at me, like I'm shutting down immediately. I'll pull the Castillo when he had to. I don't remember who he was hitting against, but he was like all the way in the back of the box, and he
the worst at bat of all time. Yeah,
pretty much.
That's
you could talk all the shit you want, Tyler, but at the end of the day, dude has like a 1,000 on base percentage because I think he's had 2 at bats and walked both times.
That's wild.
Look it up.
It's unbelievable how you can't throw a strike to that guy when he's sitting at the edge of the box and just backing out.
Yeah, just do a rookie of the year, Caleb. Just like when he was getting down like shrink your strike zone, you're good.
And just walk. That's funny.
Yeah, just fold in half. No big deal.
That's all you need to do. And as we're talking about the games, I really want to talk about your debut, because I feel like something needs to be said, and especially because this is a Dodger Giant podcast. Your first game was against the Dodgers, and when that third pitch to Max Muncy happened, was it kind of like a flinch? Like, how many years in the big leagues do you need to have to where you could have had like that stare down Madison Bumgarner type deal?
Definitely more than I have, for sure.
Okay.
And I didn't know, I didn't know it was a strike. Honestly, like, I had no idea.
Oh, really?
So I was
Okay.
like, oh, it was close, but like, it must have been a ball. And I was like, well, even if it was close, I'm probably not going to get it, just because like I've heard the stories about, oh, you're a rookie, like you don't get anything anyway. So I was like, whatever. And then I went back and watched on the tape, and I was like, wow, that was a lot. That was like not close.
Yeah.
Like that
It
was like
wasn't a corner. And I'm not gonna lie, I was a little upset because 9 times out of 10 when it's Dodgers Giants, I live in Southern California. My whole family, like all my wife's family is all Dodger fans. So I'm usually having a barbecue. And when that happened, I kind of got up and was like, sit down, and kind of like went at somebody a little bit. So I kind of looked really stupid when it was a ball, but then again, I got a little bit of revenge because they thought that Max Muncy flat was a home run, and
Yeah,
they kind
I
of
thought it was a homer too.
Oh, did you?
I thought it was a homer too. I was like, you've got to be kidding me! Like, this ain't great. But thankfully, it didn't get out. But yeah, I was not thrilled by how far that ball went, for sure.
No, yeah, definitely. So I mean, switch gears a little bit, I guess. If there is like maybe one thing you can change about baseball, either the game itself, or maybe just unwritten rules or whatever, what would that be? Went deep on you right out of the gate.
Yeah,
Like,
I
right
know.
out-
Like, that's a big thinker question. The game's
was like-
pretty good. I wish, if I could change anything, I wish I could change people to like stop trying to change the rules.
Okay.
Like,
That's
just
the best
keep
answer
it the
we've
way
heard.
it is.
That's the best
like,
answer.
we don't really need to change much.
Mhm.
Like, I didn't hate the extra innings rules. I mean, I guess like during the season,
You needed it for this season. Yeah.
I'm kind of a big proponent, like during the season, at least in the minor leagues, like maybe not in the big leagues, but in the minor leagues, like extra innings don't matter.
Mhm.
So like, why are we playing extra innings anyways? Like, I understand like there's no ties in baseball, but like, who cares? It's the minor leagues. Like,
Yeah.
everybody's there to get work in anyway, for the most part.
Exactly.
So like, let's just 9 innings. Like, we got a road trip going somewhere anyway. Like, let's just leave instead of trying to play 15 innings. But at the big league level, like, I just don't see why we're trying to make the game faster. I don't understand it.
That makes
Like,
sense. Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
It's one of those things where I completely agree with you, where if we're trying to expand the kind of scope of the game to the population, I think it needs to be marketing players rather than let's shave 3 minutes off of a game and see if that catches someone's interest. And you just have to accept that those people, that's not going to do it for them. Baseball isn't for some people, just like golf isn't for some people.
right. Yeah.
It's just not going to change their minds.
Yeah. And I think I say we, it's not really me because I don't make any decisions, but I think Major League Baseball is trying to like market to those younger viewers, which is good, but I think they do a bad job at it. Whereas I think Trevor Bauer does a really good job at it with the way he like interacts with everybody on social media and all his like
100%.
other stuff that he does. And like, I know a lot of guys think it's really tired and a lot of guys don't like it and it rubs them the wrong way. But at the end of the day, like, he's trying to grow the game of baseball to make more money.
Yeah.
So like, why would you not want that?
Yeah, it's only mutually beneficial for everyone involved.
Right. Yeah.
And you're not even putting the work in. He's the one putting the work in.
Right. Exactly. And it might be a little annoying to have to listen to him, but like, who cares?
Sometimes,
If it's going to grow the game and keep it alive and keep like allowing you to provide for your family, then fine, like put up with it. I think a lot of people just get their feelings hurt a lot in baseball.
Exactly. People like to talk shit about people who try, and he's trying different things, and he's trying to stick his neck out, and he's going to get more popular and more non-baseball fans, and that's good. But regular baseball fans are going to hate it because he's trying, and that's what people that are baby back bitches do. So, yeah. And I've heard that you were going to be a doctor, right? That's what you were going to do if baseball didn't work out, which is a hell of a kind of backup plan. How far did you get to becoming a doctor, and can you give us exams, any questions that we can answer over the Zoom call so we don't have to pay for insurance?
Yeah, I don't have any like certifications or anything official. I was basically just on like a pre-med course when I was at Indiana. And if I wouldn't have ended up getting drafted, I would have just gone to med school. So that's pretty much the extent of it. I didn't really take anything. I didn't take the MCAT. I didn't do any of the like specialized stuff. But normally you don't get to your residency anyway until you're like 27, 28. So I still got time.
So sorry, Tyler. You can't ask him about that rash you have.
So like med school is 7 years long.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, right? So it's still plausible that you go to med school after, your major league career. Is that maybe in the deck of cards, or maybe something shorter like a physician's assistant? Or have you thought about that far ahead, or is it just strictly baseball now?
If you start, you'll have 4 days in between.
Hopefully I'll play long enough where I don't have to do that. That's kind of like the goal, is if I can just retire when I'm like 40 and just call it good, like that'd be great. Gosh, I don't even want to think about going back to a classroom, to be honest. Like, and it was crazy because like this was the best year of my life, and like the big leagues were so much fun, and everyone was telling me like, "Oh, we're sorry, like this was your first year, like it wasn't as cool." And I was like, "This is the coolest thing I've ever been a part of." I don't know what anyone like. If it only gets better, like great. I'm having a great time as it is.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, it would be. I mean, I don't want to go back to school either, but then again, I was not nearly smart enough to like even go to college at all. So that's just a whole different story. But besides baseball, what's like your I guess like your best favorite hobby, like thing that you like to do the most?
So I'm like searching for a hobby now. Basically. So like we talked a little bit before, like I worked all the time in the off season, so I had no free time. So I literally had no time for like hobbies. Like now I have a little bit of free time, so I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. I've been hiking a lot around Arizona. My girlfriend likes to go hiking too, so like that works for us. My uncle's a really big bow hunter, and he's been like pushing for me to do that. My other uncle's like a huge golfer, so he's been pushing for me to get into golf. And it's like I got all these different things that I got to try out. And then with COVID, it's like it's kind of tough to try everything and like travel to do all this different stuff. So I think like next year it'll be a little bit different. I'll be able to figure out something, but I don't know. I like to play video games too.
Golfing's pretty COVID friendly. Golfing is always fun until you're in the middle of the game and you like hook your third shot of the day and you're like, why do I play this fucking game? But usually at the end you're like trying to plan the next time you're coming back. So
exactly. So in golf would be a lot, but I think I'd enjoy golf more if I didn't shoot like a 95 every time. Like if I could shoot like a 70, I think I'd love it. But it's I don't know. I don't like losing in general, so it's just not fun for me to go do something that I'm not very good at.
Yeah.
Yep. I hear that. That's why I don't go golfing with my girlfriend's father. Him and I were supposed to go. We were supposed to go to Hawaii, my girlfriend and I and the family.
Oh wow.
In May, and then obviously COVID happened. But him and I had a tea time together, and I'm super happy that didn't happen. That just would have been embarrassing. But
I hate going with people that are good. It's so annoying because like if you hook like I go with like my best friend. We usually invite like 1 or 2 people, but like we'll like always hey like you're not too good, right? Because like if I hook a shot, I'm just gonna hit another shot, like, and you better not say shit, and I won't say shit if you do it. Like, you know what I mean? Like
that. See, that's the way to go golfing.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it. Just go and have fun.
Well, and he has like, a $3,000 Callaway golf club set, and I have like $400 clubs that I got when I was in high school that are way too short for me, but
Father-in-laws need to have one up on you. Let him have this. Let him just beat the shit out of you at golf because you're taking his little girl. He needs to at least like man you a little.
Fair. Yeah, you got to give him something.
Yeah, I feel like when I go to him and be like, I want to propose to your daughter, he's going to be like, all right, cool. Let's go to the golf course and after I'll give you my answer. I'm gonna be like, shit.
Yeah.
No wife for me.
That's funny.
Yeah. So, okay, I got a good one here. If you could take you can go back in time, right? And you can do one of two things. One, take any pitch back you've ever thrown, or make the writers of Game of Thrones rewrite season 8.
Make the writers of Game of Thrones rewrite season 8.
Oh.
For sure.
That's the correct answer. That's for the good of humanity.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's like better for everybody. You know, not that's not the selfish move. But
Okay,
yeah, I would say
So
for sure.
You're a man of the people. I appreciate that. I know. I just started rewatching it, and it's just like, why am I doing? Like, you get so excited, like all those hours in YouTube, just watching, like for Azor might be this, it might be that. It's depressing.
Just for them to like sew up some half-assed done like last season because they had to go do some Star Wars thing, and then they got fired from the Star Wars whatever that they were supposed to produce. Yeah, so they like signed this huge deal with Star Wars and then got canned, and we were all left like, well, why didn't you just stay with Game of Thrones and actually do like 3 more seasons and tell the whole story, like instead of just all of a sudden one day Daenerys heard bells ring and went nuts. Like
I hated how they try to play, like if they would have explained it like maybe Targaryens, that's what it was, like that was their history, like they're good, and then all of a sudden they cracked, but they try to be like, well, there was signs, like, when they poured the gold on his brother's head and she wasn't scared. Well, yeah, he was a dick that needed to be killed. Like,
he was like the worst.
Yeah, like I hated their explanation. Did you see a fan actually wrote, because honestly, I felt like season 8 was good all the way up until the last 2 episodes. Yeah, exactly. Like, a fan rewrote the last 3 episodes. I don't remember
the exact order. The Night King, like the Long Night or whatever, where Arya killed the Night King, was great. Like that,
exactly.
Like up until
right
then,
after that.
And then as soon as that happened, it's like it was terrible after that.
Even that was a little head scratching because it was kind of like, oh, that was a little easy. You know what I mean? But at the same time,
it was like hard.
I don't know.
I thought it was perfect.
It surprised the shit out of me.
Yeah,
so I really liked her character development, like through the entire show.
They just did everyone dirty at the end. Yeah.
Well, just out on Bran the Broken, like that guy.
That's another thing.
Like
no. It was like, dude, you're gonna be the Lord of Winterfell. I can't. I'm the 3-eyed Raven, and you can't. You're gonna do this. I can't. I'm the 3-eyed Raven. And then it was like, hey, you want to be king? And he was like, bet. Like you can't.
He's like, yeah, sure. Like I guess I'll do that. Like,
you can't just deny titles all day and then all of a sudden.
Well, that's the best one. Yeah, I'll take that one.
That's a whole separate hour-long podcast.
So Caleb, we were talking before the podcast started, and you had said, this was the first off season where you hadn't had to work, an odd job, a regular job, whatever you want to call it. And then you kind of explained to us you had some interesting history with working some jobs. So I'm sure people would be curious to know, what kind of jobs you were working.
Yeah, so my first off season after I got drafted, I just did baseball lessons, and that was like not great. Like the pay just wasn't very good. And then my second off season, what did I do my second off season? My second off season, I worked at a Target distribution center where I cut open boxes from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Saturday, Sunday, and Monday for 12-hour shifts. And that was awful. Like I literally would just open up like a box of deodorant, like cut it open, set it on a line, and then like go to the next line and then cut open a box of toothpaste and set it on the line for like people to pack and like ship out to the stores. Mm-hmm. That was probably my least favorite job I think I've ever had. Like
understandable.
It was not close. And then the next off season, I delivered pizzas in the beginning of it, which was like super, super humbling for sure. Especially like delivering pizzas in your hometown where pretty much everybody knows who you are, and then you're showing up their door and they're like, don't you play baseball? Like, aren't you? And I'm like, yeah, I do, but like
just give me a fucking tip, man. Let me get out of here.
So yeah, we get paid $3, so I have to like bring you your pizza. And then after that,
you're gonna offer me a slice or no?
Yeah. And then I started working at an auto auction after that. And I was basically just like writing reports on the cars that came in, and that I actually enjoyed that job. Like it was kind of cool to get to like basically see all the cars and stuff, and then learn a lot too. I learned probably the most I've ever learned at that job. And then last off season, I delivered pizzas for like a month before I came out to Arizona, and then I drove Uber in Arizona after the 2019 season. So that was like my last job.
So just like you were saying, when you were delivering pizzas in your hometown and kind of seeing people, at any other job, would you tell people like, yeah, I'm a minor league baseball player, I have these aspirations to one day be a major league baseball player, and were people just like, yeah, okay, you're
yeah, and I'm gonna be an astronaut.
Yeah.
I tried not to like talk about it too much, honestly. Like if somebody asked, like I'm not like a small human, so people be like, wow, you're like a really big dude. Like why? Like what are you doing? I'm like, oh, like this is what I do. Like this is a part-time job. And like most of the people were like pretty supportive. I did have like one person who's like, oh, you think you're actually gonna make it? And I was like, well, I mean, yeah, I might as well try. Like
yeah.
I'm left
people hate doing this for the rest of my life. Yeah.
Yeah, and like there we are. So
we do this things called it's basically like rapid fire questions, but we call them slow pitch questions because if you come a little bit sideways, we're gonna have to kind of press you a little bit. So did I say softball? Did I say that, or am I just talking too fast?
No,
you said softball.
It.
You said slow pitch
yeah.
softball.
Yeah,
slow
no wonder
softball.
You never went to college. It all makes sense now.
Yeah. Cut.
Okay.
We're done. All right. No, anyways, we're going in starting now. Backstreet Boys are in sync.
Backstreet Boys.
Okay. Wait, hold on. What?
I couldn't tell you which band is which band, to be honest.
I think
I
we
feel
need
like
to start
maybe it's a
adjusting this
generational
question because we're too old.
I might be too young.
It went away. It went away for a while because we don't want to do the same exact ones all the time, but we have some reoccurring ones. That's more for us. We're old. We're old.
I thought that was a girl band.
Yeah, we're too old.
Oh my gosh. Caleb.
Justin Timberlake? Come on.
Which one? Justin Timberlake was in one of those bands?
Oh,
yeah, he was in sync.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I'm not, but I just found out Mark Wahlberg did like rap music like a week ago. I had no idea.
Mark and the Funky Bunch?
And apparently he was in prison too. I didn't know that.
Yeah, Mark Wahlberg killed a guy.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know he was
I
heard he was racist, but I didn't know he killed. Rick killed the guy. That's hilarious.
Funny story, and hopefully my girlfriend's still outside. So my girlfriend dated Mark Wahlberg's nephew. So his brother's super famous too, but like dated
Donnie Wahlberg. Yeah, he was
Donnie.
Yeah.
She said Donnie Wahlberg was super nice, but she said Mark Wahlberg was nice too. But I'm always like, no, he killed someone, so I'm gonna.
Yeah, so did Ray Lewis, allegedly, I guess, but.
So did Marvin Harrison from the Colts. But, I guess everyone just kills a guy at some point, except us three.
Yeah.
For us.
That I'm going to say on the air at least.
Yeah.
So would your walk-up music be different from your walk-out music from when you're pitching as far as hitting to pitching?
Yeah, I would probably let like someone pick my hitting walkout just because I would have no idea what to do with it.
If you were
right
now, if you're pressed to pick it right now, what would it be?
Oh God!
If it was like gun to your head because people
gun to my head.
You got to pick one right now.
Ice Ice Baby by Vanilla Ice.
I love it.
That's a good one.
Fun. Like you got to have fun with like your walkout. For sure.
Yeah, you're a pitcher hitting, so it's like, dude, what are we doing here? Like. So that would be perfect.
It's not that serious anyway.
Any feelings about that's a whole nother conversation. That's gonna get deep. So
no, go for it.
You're the minor league teams that are getting cut. I know like a lot of players want like Lancaster gone. That's where I'm from. But like because it's like a fan box and everything. But like is that something that kind of like bums you out, or are you kind of like on the page like, oh, they needed to be gone?
I guess I'm indifferent.
Okay.
Like you just never know what you're going to find in the minor leagues. Like I feel like I'm kind of a testament to that. A kid who kind of struggled his first couple of years and then all of a sudden had like a good year and then another like the next year is in the big leagues. So you just never know what happens.
Mm-hmm.
And like as a senior sign too, I do kind of feel for those kids. Mm-hmm. And I think like the draft getting cut down like sucks. too.
Oh,
But
yeah.
at the same time, like, do you really need 40 rounds? And like, do you really need all these kids there? It's like tough. It's like that weird,
Yeah.
like most kids aren't going to make it, but you might find like one every year that does. So like, is it worth cutting it?
Yeah, exactly.
You really don't pay them any money. So like, I see both sides. It's kind of one of those where it's really tough, you know, like, cause if a team has a good following in that area, like, you really shouldn't get rid of them.
Yeah.
But if you're also only bringing in like 300 fans a game, like, do you really want to keep that open? Like, it's tough.
Yeah. I feel like you're talking directly to me because Lancaster's getting cut. And
I didn't know.
I think so.
Me and I was like,
I don't know if you've ever played because I know you've only. I mean, I don't know how long you were actually on San Jose. I know you pitched like 15 games like over your career there. So I'm not. Did you ever pitch?
I didn't ever go there. Thankfully, I heard it was terrible, but I got enough of like the Colorado Rockies in Asheville, North Carolina, in their like Smurf blue wall stadium. That's 230 feet to right field. So I'm good on playing them.
Well, it's such a weird thing because we had Zach McKinstry, who plays for the Dodgers, on during the middle of the season, and he was a 33rd round pick. So it's just such a, because I totally get where you're coming from, and I think most people would, you know, saying, do we need all 40 rounds? But then you get some kind of diamond in the rough that's a 33rd round pick, and it's funny because when we were interviewing him, we're like, you could possibly be the last 33rd round pick to ever make the major leagues because there may not ever be one ever again.
Mm-hmm.
Which is it's so weird.
Yeah, it is strange for sure.
So Jesse,
go for it.
I was going to say, obviously there's some disdain for the Lancaster Jethawks Stadium. Why does everyone hate Jethawks Field? I've been there a couple times. I thought it was pretty neat. I didn't have any.
It's nice for fans because it's a nicer stadium because technically in probably minor league standards it's a newer stadium. So I think it's like 20 years old. I think they built it when I was like 10. So but the problem is it's just like the wind blows out. So it's a fan box. Like there's
so all the pitchers hate it. The hitters really like playing there, but all the pitchers are like, I don't want to pitch today.
Yeah.
They have to go there.
Matt Cain had to do a rehab game there once, and it was cool for us. I mean, I took my godson and everything, and it was like a really cool experience. But he was pissed. I mean, because it was like any type of fly ball. I was like, dude, these single A guys are just taking me yard every like 2 seconds because it's just not even fair. So, what kind of like real analysis can you get on a minor league guy when that kind of shit happens? So I get it. It makes sense. I just don't want to drive an hour and a half to fucking Rancho. Okay, but it looks like I'm gonna have to.
Yep, you sure are.
Just things suck. Okay, so back to the slow pitch. Sorry. So you're going up for karaoke. What's the song you're choosing?
Midnight Train to Georgia by Gladys Knight.
That is a bold choice.
You got pipes then?
No, it's just one of the few songs that I could get through in karaoke. My dad used to play it in the backyard all the time. Yeah, it was on one of his like burn CDs. So like it's in my head. Like, I mean, I'm not a terrible singer, but I'm not good.
Yeah.
Like I could pass karaoke, but I just think it's a good song too.
Yeah, I mean, it just picking Gladys Knight, I feel like you got to bring some heat.
You got to. At least
people would just enjoy a good laugh too with it, you know.
That's true.
If you look hot, it doesn't really matter. I mean, a funny thing with parents, they always have like the same. I'm not sure if this is you, but they always have like the same 18 songs that they play, like on the same burn CD, like same shit.
If you could either, well, we'll do both. If you could hit a home run off any current major leaguer, and if you could strike out any major leaguer, who would it be?
I would like to strike out Charlie Blackmon because he seems to be the guy I can't get out.
Okay.
So I'm going to pick that one. And then if I get a homer off anybody.
And you got to pimp it too. This is something that you might get drilled in the head next time you go.
God, I kind of want to say Bumgarner, but I kind of don't want to say that because like Giants fans.
That would be
no. That's the great answer.
That would be crazy. That would be the craziest thing. Like that, I feel like that would make Giants fans' head explode because it was like, am I supposed to get mad because
Right, and that's kind of
Giants
why I
giant,
like pushed.
but we love
Baumgartner.
Baumgartner.
But I also feel like he's the only guy now that I would take it really bad, you know. So I I don't know.
People take like older dudes
That's a perfect
still take
answer.
it bad a little bit, but he's the most for sure. And I anyone can see that for sure.
I mean, if you hit a ball off me and it goes 500 feet, like do cartwheels around the bases for all I care. Like I don't care. Like I probably shouldn't have thrown it there. Like I'll learn. Like it's fine. Like it's fine.
Which I love the fact that earlier, just so you know, I'm gonna put this soundbite that you said earlier in the podcast when you said anyone could hit these major league baseballs out. Like anyone could. I'm just gonna play it in my head over and over just to psych me up to get back out there and maybe make a rec league team and just work my way up and be the first 50-year-old rookie.
We could strike you out on 3 pitches. Yeah, maybe I could. I can strike you out on 3 pitches, and I can't probably hit 75 on the gun anymore.
Yeah, I got a noodle arm. I can't throw shit. But Caleb, man, we really appreciate you coming on, man. We wish you nothing but luck in the upcoming season and striking out Charlie Blackmon. I'm going to be really excited to see it. So hope to have you back on sometime and have a great rest of your off season.
Yeah, thanks, Jesse. It was really fun. I had a good time.
As always, this episode was brought to you by Renovation Candle Company, where the whole entire month of December, you can buy 2 candles, get 2 candles free. That's 50% off. Use code BUY2, GET 2 at checkout. Let them know we sent you. Help support us. Help support some great candles.
Yeah.
Just get into it.
Yeah. I mean, the best, honestly, one of the top 5 reasons to get married, because women are usually into candles. And my wife would put a different candle in a lot of different, in all the different rooms. So it's like going into a new, like you're going through a new journey every single time you go into another room. Okay. So you're going to need 4 candles for your house. Get them. Where that benches, is that thing still going on? Benches, coupon code. Okay. Well,
not right now. Well, because
don't put benches in because this is better. So
I already said the promo code, you jackass.
Oh, did I?
You were too fat and looking at your meatloaf, so you didn't even hear.
Okay, listen to me. We could joke all day. We could make jokes about each other all day, but the second you talk about meatloaf again, we're throwing hands.
Okay, here's the first question. Is there ketchup in that meatloaf?
It's not ketchup. It's a different sauce. It's a sauce. There's ketchup in the sauce, though. I'm not going to lie to you. There is ketchup, but it's mixed in my mother-in-law's sauce, bro.
You know what's good with meatloaf? Instead of that, cream of mushroom soup. Cream of mushroom soup.
We need to talk about this off the air, okay?
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for listening. Fuck Aubrey Huff. We didn't do a fuck you of the week, so we're going to do a fuck you of the week right now. Fuck Aubrey Huff. Why? Just because. Thank you for listening. You want to say something, go for it.
I didn't.
You don't.
Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube. This is so bad.
We'll see you guys next week. Thank you for listening.